Another day, another story. In the sprawling metropolis of Ignorance City, where knowledge is suppressed and ignorance is celebrated, a young man named Thomas finds himself growing increasingly disillusioned with the state of society. While his peers are content with their ignorance, Thomas yearns for knowledge and questions the status quo. Ignorance City is governed by the oppressive regime of the ignorati, a ruling elite who manipulate information and keep the masses in a state of ignorance to maintain their power. The city is characterized by towering skyscrapers, polluted air, and a sense of despair among its inhabitants. The stark contrast between the opulence of the ruling elite and the poverty of the masses serves as a constant reminder of the inequality that plagues the city. Thomas, however, is different. He cannot ignore the burning curiosity within him, the desire to understand the world around him and seek out the truth. He secretly collects forbidden books and information, hidden away from the prying eyes of the ignorati. These books are his only source of solace, a glimpse into a world beyond the confines of Ignorance City. One day, while exploring the city's labyrinthine streets, Thomas stumbles upon a hidden bookstore. The shelves are lined with books that have long been banned by the ignorati. As he peruses the titles, he notices a small slip of paper tucked between the pages of one of the books. Curiosity piqued, he carefully unfolds the paper and reads the message written in elegant script. The message is an invitation to join the Enlightened Society, a secret underground organization dedicated to preserving knowledge and spreading enlightenment. Intrigued and hopeful, Thomas decides to investigate further. He follows the instructions in the message and finds himself in a dimly lit room, surrounded by individuals who share his thirst for knowledge. The members of the Enlightened Society are a diverse group, united by their desire to challenge the established order and bring about change. They welcome Thomas with open arms, recognizing his potential to become a powerful force in their mission. They reveal to him the extent of the ignorati's control over society, the manipulation of information, and the suppression of knowledge. Thomas is given access to the society's vast library, filled with forbidden books and information that have been carefully preserved. He delves into the history of the world, uncovering the truth about the oppressive regime and the power of knowledge. As he immerses himself in the forbidden texts, he begins to understand the importance of critical thinking, intellectual curiosity, and the pursuit of truth. Within the society, Thomas finds kindred spirits who share his desire for change. They form a plan to expose the truth to the masses, to challenge the ignorati's control over society. Secret gatherings are organized, where forbidden books and information are distributed, encouraging critical thinking and questioning of the status quo. However, the ignorati catch wind of the society's activities and launch a ruthless crackdown. The members of the Enlightened Society find themselves facing numerous challenges and obstacles as they try to evade capture and continue their mission. But Thomas remains undeterred, fueled by a newfound determination to bring about change. In a climactic moment, as Thomas delves deeper into the secrets of the society, he uncovers a shocking revelation that exposes the true nature of the ignorati's power. He discovers a paradox that has kept society in ignorance, a paradox that threatens to unravel everything he and the Enlightened Society have fought for. Thomas stood outside the dilapidated building, his heart pounding with anticipation. The invitation he had received was cryptic, but it promised answers to the questions that had plagued his mind for so long. He took a deep breath and pushed open the creaky door, stepping into a dimly lit room filled with dusty shelves and rows upon rows of forbidden books. As his eyes adjusted to the gloom, Thomas noticed a figure standing in the corner. The man was dressed in tattered robes, his face obscured by a hood. "Welcome, Thomas," the man said, his voice a whisper in the stillness of the room. "I am Elijah, a member of the Enlightened Society." Thomas felt a surge of excitement. He had heard rumors of this secret organization, but he had never imagined he would have the chance to join them. "Why have you chosen me?" he asked, his voice trembling with anticipation. Elijah smiled, his eyes twinkling with hidden knowledge. "We have been watching you, Thomas. Your thirst for knowledge, your refusal to accept the ignorance that surrounds you. You are different from the rest. You have the potential to bring about change." Thomas nodded, his determination growing stronger. "Tell me, Elijah, what is the purpose of the Enlightened Society? What do you hope to achieve?" Elijah motioned for Thomas to follow him deeper into the room. They passed rows of books, their spines worn and faded, containing the forbidden knowledge that had been hidden from the masses. "The Enlightened Society exists to preserve knowledge and spread enlightenment," Elijah explained. "In this world of ignorance, we are the keepers of truth. We believe that knowledge is the key to liberation." Thomas's eyes widened as he took in the vastness of the library. He had never seen so many books in one place, and the thought of all the untold stories and forgotten wisdom filled him with a sense of awe. But why is knowledge suppressed? Why do the ignorati fear it so much? Elijah paused, his gaze fixed on a particularly weathered book. "The ignorati fear knowledge because it threatens their power," he said, his voice tinged with bitterness. "They manipulate information, control what the masses can know and think. Ignorance is their weapon, and they wield it with impunity." Thomas's mind swirled with a mix of anger and determination. He had always sensed that something was amiss in Ignorant City, but now he had proof. "What can I do to help?" he asked, his voice filled with resolve. Elijah placed a hand on Thomas's shoulder, his touch warm and reassuring. "You have already taken the first step, Thomas. By seeking us out, by questioning the status quo, you have shown that you are ready to challenge the established order. Together, we can expose the truth and bring about change." Over the next few weeks, Thomas immersed himself in the teachings of the Enlightened Society. He learned about the history of the world, the atrocities committed by the ignorati, and the power of knowledge to break the chains of ignorance. He met other like-minded individuals, each with their own unique skills and insights, and together they formed a plan to awaken the people of Ignorant City. Under the cover of darkness, Thomas and his comrades organized secret gatherings, where they distributed forbidden books and information to the masses. They encouraged critical thinking and the questioning of the status quo, planting seeds of doubt in the minds of those who had long been content with their ignorance. But as their activities gained momentum, the ignorati grew wary. They launched a crackdown on the Enlightened Society, determined to maintain their control over the city. Thomas and his comrades faced numerous challenges and obstacles as they tried to evade capture and continue their mission. And then, in a moment of revelation, Thomas uncovered a shocking truth that sent shivers down his spine. The ignorati's power was not just based on control and manipulation, but on a paradox that had kept society in ignorance for generations. It was a revelation that could change everything. As Thomas stood on the precipice of this newfound knowledge, he knew that the fate of Ignorant City rested in his hands. The Enlightened Society had become his family, and together they would fight for truth and enlightenment, no matter the cost. And so, with his heart filled with determination and his mind ablaze with knowledge, Thomas prepared to face the challenges that lay ahead. The battle for enlightenment had only just begun, and the fate of a world shrouded in ignorance hung in the balance. Thomas and his fellow society members gathered in a dimly lit basement, their faces illuminated by the flickering candlelight. The air was heavy with anticipation as they finalized their plan to reveal the truth to the people of Ignorant City. "We must organize secret gatherings in the abandoned warehouses on the outskirts of the city," Thomas said, his voice filled with determination. "We will distribute forbidden books and information, encouraging the masses to question the status quo and think critically." His comrades nodded in agreement, their eyes shining with a shared purpose. They had seen the spark of curiosity in the eyes of the people, the glimmers of doubt that had begun to emerge. It was time to fan those flames and ignite a revolution of knowledge. As the days turned into weeks, the Enlightened Society worked tirelessly to prepare for their mission. They printed pamphlets and created hidden caches of forbidden books, carefully planning the logistics of their secret gatherings. Each member had a role to play, and they knew that failure was not an option. The first secret gathering took place under the cover of darkness. The abandoned warehouse was filled with people, their faces hidden by hoods and scarves, their voices hushed as they listened to Thomas speak. "Today, we stand on the precipice of truth," Thomas declared, his voice ringing with conviction. For too long, we have been kept in ignorance, manipulated by those who fear our potential. But no more. Today, we reclaim our right to knowledge." He held up a forbidden book, its pages filled with the wisdom of the ages. The crowd gasped, their eyes wide with wonder. One by one, they stepped forward, eager to receive their own copy, hungry for the truth that had been denied to them for so long. The ignorati caught wind of the secret gatherings and launched a crackdown on the enlightened society. They knew that knowledge was their greatest threat, and they would stop at nothing to maintain their control over the city. Thomas and his comrades found themselves hunted, their every move watched by the ever-watchful eyes of the ignorati. They had to be careful, to stay one step ahead, as they continued their mission to awaken the people. But despite the danger, the secret gatherings grew in size and frequency. The people hungered for knowledge, and they flocked to the enlightened society in search of truth. The movement spread like wildfire, igniting a passion for enlightenment that could not be extinguished. In a climactic moment, Thomas stumbled upon a hidden chamber deep within the heart of Ignorance City. The walls were lined with monitors, each displaying the faces of the ignorati, their sinister smiles frozen in time. It was a surveillance room, a testament to the extent of their control. But it was what Thomas discovered next that sent shockwaves through his very being. The ignorati's power was not just based on control and manipulation, but on a paradox that had kept society in ignorance for generations. The very fabric of their existence was built upon a lie, a carefully constructed illusion that perpetuated their rule. Thomas knew that this revelation had the power to shatter the foundations of Ignorance City. It was a truth that needed to be unveiled, no matter the consequences. With the support of his comrades, he set out to expose the paradox to the masses, to awaken them from their slumber of ignorance. But the ignorati were not willing to relinquish their power so easily. They launched a final assault on the enlightened society, desperate to maintain their control over the city. Thomas and his comrades fought bravely, their resolve unyielding. In the midst of the chaos, Thomas found himself face to face with the leader of the ignorati, a man known only as the Oracle. The Oracle sneered, his eyes filled with arrogance. "You think you can change the world, Thomas? You are but a mere speck in the grand design of Ignorance City." Thomas stood tall, his voice unwavering. "You underestimate the power of knowledge, of truth," he said. "We may be small in number, but our ideas are like seeds, ready to take root and grow. The people are awakening, and they will no longer be held captive by your lies." With those words, Thomas and his comrades launched a final assault on the ignorati, their determination fueled by the knowledge that they were fighting for something greater than themselves. The battle raged on, the clash of ideologies echoing through the streets of Ignorance City. And in the end, it was the power of knowledge that prevailed. The people rose up, their eyes opened to the truth that had been hidden from them for so long. The ignorati's reign of ignorance was over, and a new era of enlightenment began. As Thomas stood amidst the rubble of a fallen regime, he knew that the fight was far from over. The battle for enlightenment would continue, as new challenges and obstacles arose. But he was no longer alone. The enlightened society had become a beacon of hope, a symbol of resistance against the forces of ignorance. And so, with their hearts filled with the fire of knowledge and their minds ablaze with the truth, Thomas and his comrades prepared to face the future. The fate of Ignorance City had been forever changed, and the paradox that had kept society in chains had been unveiled. Thanks for watching.